Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Brotos TV. Look what we got here. My boy, MOOnGLaDE. MOOnGLaDE is, of course, an Australian player. Comes from Brisbane, over in the East Coast. And he's going to be taking on a very confusing match. It's MOOnGLaDE versus Moon, and they're both Zergs. And one of them is blue, and the other one is, like, purple. So, forgive me if my head explodes from the confusion. Moon, of course, is a pretty successful player. He made it to the round of 8 in Code A of the January GSL, and like MOOnGLaDE, he was in the first round of Code A this season, and both of them actually crashed out. I was really disappointed to see MOOnGLaDE out. He just got beaten by a better player. So both these guys, I guess, in that sense, in this season's GSL, completely even, both knocked out of Code A first round, and unfortunately for them, that means they're going to have to try to re-qualify. MOOnGLaDE can go for another of those foreigner seedings. He didn't actually qualify for this GSL. It's possible he'll get seeded again. It's possible someone else will, and he'll have to go through the qualifiers. But we will see. So it's a Zerg versus Zerg on Xel'Naga Caverns, and we can see it's 14 gas, 13 pool from Moon, and I'd say it's probably the same from MOOnGLaDE. I did just miss it. But it should be exciting. Neither guy has drone scouted. They're both content to just send overlords across the map, and you can see a wonderful symmetry. This map is symmetric at the best of times, and with these overlords just streaming through, oh, how pretty is that? And they're going to make a little parallelogram just about now. Woo! Sorry. I'm a bit of a geometry geek. So Moon, starting, his pool's about to pop, and MOOnGLaDE just an inch behind. But that's not exactly going to be game ending. But we'll see. This is a really interesting game because both guys going pool for first in a map where it's really, really hard for a Zerg to secure the natural because of look how wide open it is. You could go down this ramp of this hallway, or the secret one. And then the third base is also quite hard to secure because of the rocks on both cases. But it'll be interesting to see, do we see a quick game, do we see early Zergling speed now coming from both players? They're just about mirror builds. MOOnGLaDE is getting an early Baneling nest, which is going to go really well if both players are going Ling versus Ling early on. Speedling versus Speedling, well, you just get one or two really good Baneling shots in and you win that game. But Moon, well, anything you can do, I can do better. It's Baneling versus Baneling time, and if they smush into each other, then guess what? They both die, because Banelings die pretty easy. So we got some Zerglings in MOOnGLaDE's base, and Moon is going to see the Baneling nest, so that's pretty big. He has seen the Baneling nest. MOOnGLaDE, on the other hand, has absolutely no scouting information at all. He doesn't know anything, and he's just doing this build blind, which is really interesting. I guess he figured Banelings would be effective against a fast hatchery, although he knows there's no fast hatchery because he's seen this area here. Two queens coming down now to block the ramp. That's really interesting. The Banelings are going to come in, but the queens are going to tank it. Boom, boom. You don't do very much damage, and a wicked transfusion right there. Right when that queen was about to go down, the other queen did a little bit. They're not, they don't get jealous. Two queens. This is a really peculiar monarchy where you can have multiple queens and they actually help each other out. But there's a lot of Zerglings now for Moon, and they're streaming towards the base. MOOnGLaDE gonna block them off just in time, but this queen is stuck in no man's land and is gonna get surrounded. Yes, it is gonna get surrounded, and her partner is not able to get there in time for a transfusion. And Moon is looking strong now. Spinecrawler coming up. Banelings nowhere to be seen. Zerglings not enough. And now it's actually MOOnGLaDE's Banelings are finally coming into the base. They were all the way down the other end. And now they're just going to do a little bit of a loop-the-loop. And I think Moon is going to leave content with the damage he's done. He really did kill a lot of workers. And he has a 6 harvester lead now. And he will begin, I think, to think about expanding. These Zerglings now just going back again. And we could see, wow. So this harvester lead remains, but MOOnGLADE is making 2 drones. On the other hand, Moon seems to be saving lava. He's not ejecting though. Now he is. So he is injecting, but he's not building anything. He is in fact going to get a hatchery. And MOOnGLADE, on the other hand, really has not got very many options right now. He has to defend. He has to believe that his opponent is going to put on some pressure. And that now, though, he can see the hatchery's going up. So really good Zergling scout. Just got there in time. Can see. So he does see that hatchery. And he knows I do have a little bit of peace of mind when it comes to an attack. But we can see, so here comes some Zerglings, and the Banelings are going to be out of the front, and that is going to deter his opponent's Zerglings. Not like Marines, where you can sort of back off, kite them, and try and kill them slowly, and get them to blow up. Zerglings melee attack, so you pretty much got no option but to run. All the way on the other side of the map, Spine Crawler's going up at the front. And that second hatchery going up, and Moon is really in the lead now, and he is in fact, MOOnGLADE though is getting ranged attack and a Roach Warren, so Roach is going to do really well against Banelings, and against, not so much against Zerglings, but against Banelings, Roach is really super cost effective. And we can see what's going to happen. It's going to have to be a 1-base Roach all in, I suppose, but both guys getting their Roach Warren. But +1 attack for MOOnGLADE, no such thing, I don't think, for Moon. Just a bit of a lull in the game, poking around with Zerglings, just trying to get a scout off, and he did see the Spine Crawlers, so he does see this position. And this is really not good for my Australian Ombre. He's spreading a little bit of creep, but he kind of needs to expand if he's not going to just be overwhelmed by the overwhelming force of his opponent's economy. Roaches are here. They do not have +1 just yet, it's about half done. And the army tab we could see, it's actually pretty close. And in fact, but you can see, sorry, it's close in food count, but 10 more harvesters for Moon. And what that means is he's got 10 less food in his army. But actually, he's just popped out a bunch of roaches, and we're going to see the army tab, the food count, rather, is considerably diminished due to that. MOOnGLADE really, he's in a really tough spot. I don't know how he's going to get out of it. Moon has just got a superior, well, he's got roughly equal army, but look at all those drones. Evo chambered now, and he's just way ahead. He's gonna get the lair. No such thing for MOOnGLADE, and lair tech is just gonna, well, look, everything's just skyrocketing for Moon, and this is basically, he's just gonna have to attack now. Now is the window where he has a small chance if Moon gets a little bit greedy and fails to build enough army, tries to get too many drones, too much tech, and we'll see how we go. Those Banelings not doing very much. They're hitting the roaches. They're pretty weak against roaches, but Moon has got a lot of roaches of his own, and this is pretty much going to be G to the G. Big trouble for MOOnGLADE, and he's being chased down by Moon's roaches. And wow. It's finally going to get a hatchery. This music is not very interesting. I prefer the Terran music. Let's see. So, hatch going up, and it's, oh, I don't know. He's just so far behind in eco. Look at that income tab. You know, 700 to 1200. He is probably going to hold this. He's got a superior concave. He's got the sort of home ground advantage here, but actually it's not looking great as some reinforcements came in from Moon. These roaches just pounding the other roaches. The queen goes down. Bad news. And he is not going to hold. He is surrounded, and this is night. See you later, MOOnGLADE. Go back to Brisbane. No, stay in Korea. Stay in Korea. Do your best, but this is not good. Oops, this is not good. Moon actually does bail because some roaches pop for MOOnGLADE. He is going to walk that spine crawler down. It was not in a very useful position at the top of the ramp when the fight was going on. At the bottom of the ramp. But now what's going on? So I have bad macro even in casting. Another queen being researched. The lair is up along with another hatchery going down. So he's not going to expand, but double evo all the way. No lair tech yet in terms of buildings. He's just got the lair. Chilling out. Gonna get some upgrades. Getting +1 armor for his ground units. And look at these, just creep humans everywhere. Really good spread. On the other hand, MOOnGLADE has only got very few tumors, and he is getting a second spine crawler down here, so he's going to try to defend, turtle up a little bit, and see maybe if he can just drone like crazy and hope for no attack. But really, this kind of lead in a Zerg versus Zerg is really, really hard to bring back, because there's not many tricks you can play without lair tech, and he doesn't even have a lair. He's not even researching a lair yet. Now he is. Just as I say, he's made a liar out of me. Boom. Lair time. Population 1. A couple more creep tumors. Look at that. How many queens does he have? He has got 3 queens, so there was I trying to be all ooh. But he has got 3 queens, and he is pumping creep tumors pretty hard. So he's got the triple front. That front is going to grow really fast. It's interesting. It gives him the vision, but it also gives his opponent the speed bonus. So it's kind of bittersweet in Zerg vs Zerg, because as you spread creep, your opponent gets the bonus. But it gives you that vision, which is super, super duper powerful. It's like a map hack, and he is going to expand to this gold location. Huge deal. If he gets this up and holds it, then it's GG. It's lights out MOOnGLADE. You are dead. It kind of already is lights out MOOnGLADE. You are dead, I think. He just lost so much in that early exchange when he went in. When those Zerglings got into his base, killed some drones, and he just never really recovered. They were both going basically the same tech path. And if you go in the same tech path and one of you cuts your opponent and gets him behind, then you're going to be perpetually ahead. And there was no opportunity for harassment. He was Zergling versus Zergling, and then just blah. It just did not go well for MOOnGLADE. It's been a bit of a nightmare of a game, and now there's like a billion trillion roaches coming in. 24 roaches. Attacking his front. These spine crawlers are going to be useful, but it's a sick-ass concave from Moon. He's done really, really well here. I know he's going to push forward, and it is GG. MOOnGLADE, you're dead. Oh, how disappointing. So Xel'Naga Caverns, an interesting map because the natural is so wide open, but basically Moon was able to expand by staying on one base until he hurt his opponent sufficiently. And when his opponent was hurt sufficiently, he was able to safely expand, and this was just about the safest expansion I've ever seen. He just was comfortable for the entirety of the game. So, I think we're going to go on to game 2, but we'll see about that. And this has been Barotos TV, representing my boy MOOnGLADE. Hopefully he can come back and get a win against Moon. And hopefully he can do well in next season's GSL.